Okay, let's have a look at statistic question. Owen writes down 5 positive whole numbers from smallest to largest. So smallest to largest, and they are whole numbers, not a fraction, not a decimal. And then we have information about those numbers. For these 5 numbers, and we have the median, the mode, the range, the mean. And therefore, we have to find the 5 numbers that Owen writes. Okay, let's have a look. So first thing is the median. So what is the median? That is middle number. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So middle number is here because that's what stands in the middle. So there it is, my first number, 9. Then we have mode. That means the most occurring. So the one that shows up the most. Now, since we know that they are from the smallest to the largest, 6 cannot be after 9. So that means that I need to have at least twice 6, because for it to be most occurring, it has to be more than once. In this case, could be more, but we don't have option. Then we have the range. So what is the range? We take the highest number minus the lowest number. So in our case, how did they got that 11? Because they took the highest number, we don't have that yet, minus the lowest number, 6. So how do I find it? Well, we move that to the other side, change the sign, and that's how we get our box. And 11 plus 6, that's 17, and there it is, we have our next number. And then we have the last information, the mean. How do we calculate the mean? Well, we need a little bit more place for that. So the mean is when I add all data, and then we divide by number of data added. Data, that means the values that are given, because we can say you add all the numbers and then you divide by the number of numbers added, but just not to confuse the numbers. So that means that they got that 10. How? Because they added all the numbers. So they added 6 and 9, and we don't know, and 17, and then divided by how much numbers were added, and the numbers that were added, 5. So in order to find this box, first we eliminate this 5. How do we eliminate bottom of the fraction? We multiply by it. But if I multiply one side of the equation, I have to multiply the other side of the equation. So that means on this side of the equation, I have my 5 multiplied by 10 of 50. And then on this side of the equation, now I only have the top of the fraction. What we can do here, we can add all these numbers together, or we can all move them. Doesn't matter, because I want this on its own and all these numbers on the other side of the equation. So I can just move minus 6 and minus 6 and minus 9, minus 17, because what is that I need to remember? That when we move numbers from one side of the equation to the other, we change the sign to the opposite. And all of that put in our calculator, press equal, and we get the value of 12. So all these numbers come to 12. So that means there it is, our last value here, 12.